Top of the evening, students and listeners. Um, so then, if we are to accept that we do, in fact, dream every moment that we are asleep, how then do we trigger, I guess, or activate the ability to remember even a third more of these dreams? How do we drink from or cast ourselves into the river of knowledge if we have no idea where to find it, the start or the end? I want to say, if I were an aborigine or an aboriginal, I'm not sure how to say that properly. I would say something like, there is no such thing as dreams or lucid dreaming or astral projection or anything of the sort. In fact, what you're doing right now is dreaming. And when you lay your head down and close your eyes, you wake up to the real world. But sadly, you have forgotten to see with the eyes of your soul. But that aside, there are two other things as I continue about dreaming in its entirety. There are two things I would like to add that I believe I may have skipped over. And those would be daydreaming and one I believe is more commonly heard, and one that is um, I say less common only because I learned about the term about 2 years ago. But strangely enough, once I heard the word and understood its meaning, um, I realized it was something I was already doing. And the word is shifting. And what shifting is, or what I've understood, is the ability to take your consciousness to another sphere of influence or dimension or reality, so to speak. And what happens on this time, on this side, or in this sphere of influence, is time stands still. Forgive me, time can stop depending on your, let's call it, level of shifting. Um, but of course, most commonly, it uh, is extremely slowed, much like dreams, of course, as you continue your experience in the other side or the area in which you shifted. Realm, I would say. The realm in which you shifted. I believe desired reality is what it's called. So to break there, I would imagine one would think shifting sounds a little more like daydreaming. However, the the main difference is that shifting is of extreme control and a desired location, whereas daydreaming is nothing more than random thought and the mind sort of being carried along this train of random thought. And I imagine this also brings on the idea, does that make shifting like lucid dreaming or astral projecting? And again, no, for those things, you have to be fully asleep, or your physical body is anyway, while your conscious is of course, completely awake. But with shifting, you are entirely awake, thus being the biggest difference between uh, quote unquote dreaming, daydreaming, and shifting. I guess last I will add the one thing that could make it a slightly higher level skill is the sole fact that you are consciously awake while shifting your consciousness to another reality. And this is far beyond the confines of your imagination, because you feel and experience this reality just as you do your physical body simultaneously. So though you may be sitting in a chair, um, or walking down the sidewalk, you could be not just on another planet, but in a reality where you are a fish and you are swimming through I want to say something other than water. Um, but fish already swim through a lot of fantastic things. Uh, Boiling hot water, freezing cold water. Apparently, there are creatures that live inside lava. Sorry, I digress. I believe this one step further, the fact that you're consciously awake while removing your consciousness from this reality and allowing your body to autopilot, so to speak. I believe it makes it much easier for the mind to capture the experience and remember it, since since y- the the mind of the controller is not lulled before forcing it into a awake and conscious experience. If that makes sense. I guess I could say what could make dreaming harder or just as challenging as shifting, I personally imagine, is the fact that you are putting your body to rest and taking your consciousness elsewhere for as long as you possibly can. Time being nearly irrelevant. So, with those things said, I will leave it at there are quite a few things about shifting that I will be leaving out for the moment. Maybe I will revisit them in the future, because now we are only talking about uh, the things we can do while our body is asleep. So to continue, um, shifting and daydreaming explained. I'm going to try and find a few graphs while I continue to speak to try to help my description here, but hopefully you can see and understand. Uh, Science points to all of the facts that say dreaming only takes occurrence during REM sleep. REM sleep happens for about 15 to 45 minutes every 90 minutes. But you can see that your brain remains active the entire time, whether in REM sleep or not. So if we turn ourselves back to my mentionings about the new findings on dreams in previous videos, I said that scientists discovered that we have several dreams a night, which would account for the multiple um, cycles into REM sleep, which occur up to 45 minutes every 90 minutes. So if one sleeps for about 7 hours, I believe with my random math here, that probably still only accounts for about 3.5, maybe a little over 4 dreams a night if you only have one dream per REM cycle. I'm not sure if I was able to find one specifically, but the same science explains that the brain and body also produce chemicals that make it harder for the body to wake up, or rather, the outside world to uh, reach the consciousness and make it become more aware of the things happening on this side. This alone is a massive inhibitor to the brain's or conscious ability to remember experiences. Not only remember them, but make them relative to the experiences that happen on this side. With this information in order, I would like to say, as a man of many practices, there's an idea I would like to point out. What if one could skip immediately into the REM state and stay there as long as chemically desired? Not only without the use of supplements or drugs or even the machine that they use in Inception, but without an alarm clock to wake you back up. Well, that is one of the things you are here to learn. Of course, the problem with one reaching the desired chemical reactions in the brain, consciousness, and body, still being able to remember every second of the experience is the most challenging thing. Closing your eyes, um, leaving your conscious body, watching yourself travel to the desired destination or the random destination that your consciousness is being drawn to, rebuilding your body in front of your own eyes, whether it be the one you already have or one of your choice, living in an entirely different reality. One would be a fool to believe that their imagination could be so powerful. Because even the greatest of writers have a hard time creating such stories sometimes. Much like a book, I could teach you the many steps, but of course, training them or getting through them is up to you.